All right, in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to earn a bigger piece of a smaller pie. What does this actually mean? What I mean is because the market has shifted just a little bit. It's shifted around North America, and there is less overall sales than almost ever before across North America. So agents are freaking out just a little bit, and this video is going to help you out. Something that we notice when the market shifts is that expired start to creep up, terminated start to creep up, withdrawals start to creep up. When this happens, we panic, less full out sales happen. And what I wanted to talk to you about is the resulting commission per number of contracts you place goes way down. It goes way down. And what I mean by that, back when things were going really well and you took a listing, you might have had almost a 100% success rate during the years of 2021, 2022, 2023. But now, as things have shifted for most markets around North America, this ratio might be closer to 60% or even less. So what does that mean is if in the past you took 10 listings on, you would get 10 paychecks. Well, now you might take 10 listings, but they're only resulting in 6 paychecks. So that listing commission per number of contracts you place, or total commissions per number of contracts you place, has gone down. I'll give you another example. Right now, because things have shifted, the NAR settlement is out there. Many of you around North America are trying to figure out how to get your footing and ensure you earn just as much. So let's just assume under this environment, you're making the same commission you were before. But again, 5 buyers. And then because the interest rate environment is higher, prices are, there's struggle in the economy. Maybe the 5 buyers is now only resulting in 3 closings. Where in the past, this was maybe 4 closings. So you can see that our income potential is going down if we're not increasing and shifting and managing this difference. So now that's, of course, if you're getting the same payment. But what if you're a buyer's agent and you're trying to figure out how to manage your value and you're struggling with these new agreements, and now where you used to make say 2.5% on the buy side, maybe now you're struggling because you haven't learned how to do this and you're down to 2% or 1.5% or even 1%. Whatever that is, your total earning per check per closing has gone down. And this is what happens in a shift, right? This is it, right? Less sales, higher failed attempt, more problems. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about is how to become a little bit more optimistic. I believe that this market is available for those who, again, put in the effort, who make some smart shifts in their business and are able to improve. Now, I wanted to give you a highlight. Here's something on the screen that is important to note. While your competition is out there adjusting, there's many agents in this business who are just they're not best in class, are they? We know that, right? And what I mean by that is there's about 50% of the industry that's doing less than 1 deal per year. So if you're concerned about this, I want you to be optimistic because there's such a large pool of agents that do very little business, right? There's 15 to 25% of the business that just do nothing. They're just completely part-time, irrelevant agents to the marketplace, which means the top 25% do everything. And if that's the case, that should make you feel optimistic, whether you're just in a market with lots of agents, that if you put some real effort and intention into your craft, you're going to do a lot better than most. So again, you will stand out, you will build market share, but I do want you to understand something. One of the key points I want to drive home about earning a bigger piece of a smaller pie is you have to get comfortable here. None of these changes, NAR, inventory, surpluses, buyer demand, people waiting on the fence, none of these changes are going to be, like I call them, knee-jerk by the economy, and they're going to go away. They're not going to go away right away. If you guys see interest rate adjustments like we're seeing in Canada, you're going to see a few more people come off the fence. But the reality is the goal here is comfort. You need to be one of these agents that thrives in the shift. And that's a mindset for most of us. You need to thrive in the shift. Now with that, if you're going to set yourself up for success in the shift, I want you to be inspired because of the optimism that we talked about with how many people are truly actually taking control and taking market share. These are 2 key points to you to be prepared for the successes. Now I do want to give you a visual. When you're going in the good markets, and many of you have survived through that, it's almost like being a race car that's driving down a straightaway. And you're this car that's trying to figure out how to go from A to B. You know, for those of us who are mature adults and have been in the car, and they hand you, maybe you're coming from a Camry, Toyota, something simple, and then you go and rent a Mercedes. And that Mercedes can go 2 times faster. But in a good market, you can press on the pedal and you can hold the steering wheel and you can get to the end from A to B in that Mercedes versus the Camry. You'll survive that because when the market's easy, you'll rise with the tide. But I want you to think about the shift like this. It's kind of like be more on the curve, right? So if we're on a curve and we're driving and you're that same person driving the Camry and trying to get to B over here around the curve, what happens is when the car is ripped along and you hit the shift is right here. When you hit this, there's a little bit of extra tension that hits you. The car, wants to go off to the left, right? You have to hold the steering wheel harder. You might even have to slow down a little bit to counteract the tension, the G-forces that come around the corner. Now imagine, most agents are just going to slide off and hit the rail because they're not prepared. They're not ready for the tension. They didn't groom themselves up with the basics. They're not prepared for the shift. They just thought it would be easy. So if you can just maintain your momentum around the corner while everybody's starting to slide and drift, you're going to build market share. That set of foot. Now for the agents who are properly prepared, as they push the pedal down around the shift, not only can you maintain speed, first of all, but you can pick up speed. And while everybody's going, the deflection between your success here and their success here, this starts to grow. And this is what I want you to be inspired by. And the shifts are where the great agents come. And hopefully it's this visual that can truly help you out. Now, I can't go into all depth on all the things in this simple video, but my thought pattern around how to earn a bigger piece of a smaller pie is under 4 key elements. And this is a presentation I give a lot, but I wanted to bring it up to us quickly here on YouTube. 4 key ways to do this. So write these down. Superpowers, we've got secret intel, omnipresent, and MBGA. Now, let's go with number 1. What is this? Superpower. And this, if you've been following the industry and you're following social media agents and coaches out there, the superpower means, what do you think it is? It's actually skills. It's your skills. Think of superpowers as developing the necessary skills in our business because we know paychecks come harder in the shifted market, right? Clients are going to have the time because it's not such a busy market right now. So the urgency comes down and they have the ability to look around and do a little bit more research, right? So you need to just upgrade your skills so you're best prepared for this. I also wanted to tell you, in a shifted market, loyalty does drop. Loyalty drops because, again, the urgency's gone. So they have time to look around to say, you know what, I have to sell my house. I've been getting flyered by this community agent, right? I'm not in a panic and I know things are going to take longer. So you might get the call, right? As always, if you've been present, the farm agent might get the call. The online lead agent might get the call. And now, where in the busy market, you had no competition. Now in the shifted market, because again, this decision is concerning for some people. The transition from selling and buying, they need more time. And they're gonna maybe vet you against 3 competitors. Now, if you went into that scenario without the proper skills and they're ready to adapt, you would probably lose out on a few of your past clients and people that might have been loyal to you because now they're been educated by somebody else who has gone ahead and created the skills, right? I want you to know that difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. So getting ahead of these things, and the things I would kind of ask you to consider is, your presentation skills, right? Your buyer presentations, your listing presentations, your investor presentations, right? The script handling, the objection handling, the things that didn't come up in the past. This is what I would challenge you guys to go ahead and go for. All right, so I would say skills. What do they think they do? Right? The skills, that's my bill. Raining bills will pay the bills, right? And that's what I want you to think about. All right, what is the second one? Second one I said is secret intel, right? Secret intel. What do I mean by this? Well, it's pretty simple. It's market knowledge. All right, market knowledge. In this market, do you think it's fair to say, as things have adjusted, that you need to be incredibly present? You need to understand the market better than you ever did before, because you need to understand it so that you can position and price strategy properly, or else you'll take listings that don't sell and you'll have buyers that have unrealistic expectations. So I always say this thing, what is cool about secret real estate agents? Nothing. Generally, secret real estate agents are those stay secret because they don't have an opinion, they haven't learned about the market, they haven't educated themselves, and thus they don't have a voice. They don't have a voice and they're not willing to share it, right? We want a voice because we want to position your knowledge broker status in front of your people, right? The people that you know and know you, right? This is phase one, but we also want to position your knowledge broker status to the people that don't, right? And this is, again, as you need to grow and build your business during the shift, we're going to end up having to reach out to more and more people. We're going to have to cold outreach and reach out to more people than you just know and because, again, loyalty has changed, urgency is off, volume is down, so you need to kind of prepare for this. So again, you want to be knowledged, and you also need to go a little bit further. You need to be very segmented. There is local knowledge. That is two things. Macro, meaning overarching. Meaning, in my market, Calgary real estate market is doing X. But you also need to know micro. This is the very niche locations where you might have got away when all tides were rising. Now you can't. Every market, every price point, every property type is doing something different. So you want to become the knowledge broker that understands all of this, and you can portray yourself when you're now in competition and loyalty has come down, and you don't want to lose one of those opportunities because we know less of them work out. You need to be prepared for this. Now, there's a ton of strategies around this. I'll give you one. No matter how bad your market is, there is micro success stories. Micro success stories. And your job is to find them by being intelligent and looking for which communities are outperforming others. And you need to go tell those stories, and you need to make warm and cold outreach to those folks. And this will help you greatly, right? It's this market intelligence that is going to differentiate yourself. It's going to provide you as a very relevant, timely agent for the current market. Okay? Number 3. What is number 3? Do you remember? Omnipresence. Omnipresence is a fancy word for multi-layered brand awareness. In a world that is incredibly noisy like today, where people are distracted by their social media, distracted by everything other than what they're supposed to be doing, and your clients are distracted this way too, we need a multi-pronged effort to get their attention. And again, this is necessary in the shift while everybody in the world is dealing with economic macro issues. And we just need to understand this, so that we need to do more and put it out to more places because it is noisier than ever. Now, I think about this in a couple ways, right? I want you to think about, how am I going to attack them digitally? Email, YouTube, that type of thing, e-newsletters. Socially, of course, I don't have to even say much more. DMs, live, stories, organic, and then of course, plus your traditional. And the whole goal is omnipresence to get to them in multiple ways. And when the world's noisier, you have to do more things on more platforms to cut through the noise so that maybe, just maybe, if they're not pessimistic enough and they're stacking off the fence that they're ready to raise their hand, they do remember you're in this business, and that's a big part of this. Right? What happens is if you are present and the market has shifted, there's a really beautiful thing that happens, is that trust and personal connections will win out. But if you don't have the market knowledge and you're not omnipresent, there's a very good chance many of us will lose market share to competition who's taking it. All right? Do what others can't. Do what others won't, so that you can have a live and take market share that others can't. Okay? And number 4, we'll hit you on the MBGA. It's actually funny that I'm talking about this one because I wrote about this one a few years ago. And in our current state, this means, I'm going to pull it up, making boring great again. Good old Trump, he's back in the news. Maybe he's your president by the time by the end of this video. What making boring great means is that, like, we have a couple simple actions. We can either take discipline actions towards our goal, or we can take discipline actions away from it. Errors in judgment, wrong choices, and then over time throughout the shift, while we're fighting our way on that curve, we're either going to create disciplines that work and keep us steady on the curve, or we're not, and we're going to go flying into the end rail of that little track. So what do we do? I think of this in 3 ways. I want you to restabilize. Before you get ahead of yourself, have you restabilized your business in this shift? Are you creating the consistency, the habits, all the things that you used to do when you were working for it and it wasn't just, remember, that straight line from A to B? We need to reestablish those habits in that rhythm in your business. Now, what might this mean? Right? Restability might mean your expenses, right? Because things are less, when we're stabilizing, we need to find the best ROI sources and the budget that works for you. We need to cut the fat, and we need to go all in on the things that work. Now, during this curve, is not the time to try a whole bunch of new things that will have us spinning off instead of rounding the curve. We need to regain the habits that worked, right? We need to find your rhythm because you probably got a little bit sloppy. And that's the thing. We need to think about the old adage of what got you here to this point during the shift will most likely not get you around it. We need to adjust things. And here's a great little visual for you. Restabilize. Once stable, then we can lead with revenue for growth, right? That's putting the pedal down on the curve. Lead with revenue, we have money to then add something new, to develop a new habit, and then master it finally, just like restability, and then we can keep adjusting over and over again. So this is how I like to think about it, right? Superpowers, secret intel, omnipresent, MBGA, and it's with that, we have an opportunity, friends, to earn a bigger piece of a smaller pie and make it through this and gain some market share. Hopefully this has helped.